Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's having a good evening. Gonna hop on here and do a little stream tonight. We got some stuff going on. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Like I mentioned to in my previous video here, I am going to go ahead and give all the information right at the beginning. Okay, I may even repost it, just that part of it after I cut it out and everything. I am going to stick around though. Okay. Yeah, the Schumann is getting a little nuts right now. Zach, good to see you. A little too spicy. How you doing? Angelo Calvin. Hope everybody's having a good night. Monday. Hope everybody made it through their Monday. Pretty good. Shalom, Missy. How you doing? Diane Goodson. Nice to see you. Dwayne. Hopefully some of my moderators will pop in here real quick. I really hope so. Oh, man. Yeah, hi, Xana Granny. Hey, how you doing? Glad you're in here. I was just waiting for one of you mods to hop in here before I go ahead and start with everything. I am going to go ahead and do that. How you doing, CJ Mouse? Doing pretty good there, buddy? Let's see here. Good morning, Blue. Hey, Paul, how are you? Good morning. Where are you at in the world, Paul? You over in Australia? New Zealand? Something like that? Ain't that what you said before? Pretty sure. Steven, good to see you. Homesteading in the Heartland, good to see you. I am Monica, good to see you. Stephanie, good evening. Bruce Menace. Yeah, you're saying hi to Paul too. Hey, Paul, where are you from, bud? You said good morning, so I'm assuming, I guess you could, was it? Well, it wouldn't be morning in England yet. Well, I guess it could be over in England. That's probably about, what, 4 or 5 hours from now, I guess? Okay, UK. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So, yeah, cool. See, it's, huge rainbow. And yet, when I turned the opposite direction, the sky was orange. Guys, the post. That's crazy. Good one, buddy. Hey, good to see you, Captain. Guys, on that sky issue, real quick, we'll touch on that just for a second while we're letting everybody pile in here. Yeah, with the wildfires out there, guys, we got some pretty amazing captures. Mr. MBB3 actually showed a capture from of the sun as it was setting through the wildfires, but it looked like it was being eclipsed by something. Now, none of that's been confirmed. He couldn't confirm it or deny it. I mean, it looks like an eclipse, and he tried to help figure out if it actually was an eclipse. Like, he went through and seen where the moon was at, what cycle the moon was in. I would encourage everybody to go over and check out his video on that, because it most definitely is extremely interesting, but we can't say yes or no on that. Because if something eclipsed the sun right there, it was nothing that would have been known. That's one thing Mr. MBB3 definitely did there, was eliminate that possibility. Can the solar storm affect the crops? Guys, that is a very good question. I would think that it could at some level. I would think that it would be, it would take a lot, though, to see a big, influence on the crops. Anything that's going to change our frequency, anything that's going to add any kind of extra energy to our atmosphere, to our world altogether, will affect everything. Just to how big or how much it does affect. Yeah, Zach, we're going to talk about that in a second. Was wondering, had a massive headache all day. I'm going to show you why here in about 2 seconds, okay? Okay. Isaiah Granny, you're in there, right? You're still in there? Yeah. Thank you for being here. Can you, just take care of the chat if you could for me. I'm going to go ahead and put this away so I can get the information out. I'm going to try to do that for the people that can't really stick around very long. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate everybody, but, my mods are, they've been doing a really good job as I've went through this past couple weeks, so. All right. So we will just go ahead and jump into it because it is definitely something to talk about. Here's your headache, man. Okay? Yeah, that's a significant spike, guys. And what was kind of interesting about this one, we see these spikes sometimes. This is kind of the normal thing that we see, but you see this right here? That little orange horizontal signature we're seeing there right on our 783. If you look how it's intense here too, in increments of 4, pretty much. Let's see here. If you guys go over here to the left, you'll see how they go up in increments of 4, and that's the hertz level. That's what they measure the frequency in, is hertz. Okay. So the 783 is just obviously just below the 8. So when we're seeing these this here, you know what, guys? I forgot to change the size of my mouse. Sorry about that. I need to start. I've been trying to actually do better with that. By the way, today is September 28, 2020, and this is Wages World coming at you. Blue Kool-Aid in Wages World, I guess, if you want to go down that road. But yeah, so thanks for everybody that's here, giving me their time to kind of check out what I got to show. So we are going to, right here, look at that. So this is probably has something to do with the magnetic storms we're experiencing right now. Now, I'm not going to say that's everything on that, okay? And the reason I'm not is because if you look back through here, we're not seeing any kind of massive spiking, right? But we've been in storm level, geomagnetic storm level now for over 2 days. Popping in and out. But we're not seeing any spiking back here. So we can't just automatically claim that that's what's causing this. So regardless what's causing it, this is what's happening. And what is strange is this right here. So that little vertical, more intense signature there. Guys, I would again send everybody over to Verte's channel, Verte Albustos. Actually, guys, I think I got him down there in the scroll. I put a scroll down there of some of the channels that I go to and what you will find when you go there. It's only 4 or 5 channels for now. But yeah, check out that scroll, and I put it in the description box too. So hopefully people will see that, and we'll get some people over there to learn. But yeah, Verte does a really good job, guys. He goes really, really in depth. So, when you go over there to watch, it's not going to be something where you can just turn on and casually look at it and walk away, because you won't understand what's being said. Because this whole thing, if you really want to get down to understand exactly what this is with the Schumann, it's going to take some effort. Okay, it's not something that you can just glance over and keep moving. You won't be able to understand it fully. Now you can understand it like I do right now in a basic way, but if you really want to know what's actually causing this, what could cause these kinds of signatures, why is this one vertical, why is this one horizontal, he goes into all that. And he is very, very well read when it comes to this. So that's why I point people over there. Not to mention he's a great guy. So, all right. So we got this spiking going on. Space weather. This is probably why everybody's here looking at me right now. This is yeah, guys. If you guys look up here, you're going to see this is 24-hour observed maximums. So within the past 24 hours, the highest we've seen was a G1. All right, now do you guys see this over here? They're predicting us to go back up into a G2. So, last observed, right there. But that doesn't really correspond with this. Okay? Because that's saying there is no, but this is. So, yeah. We're going to go with this, okay? Because that's really what's going on. Anyway, G1 storm right now. That's exactly what we've got right here. Let's pull this up like this. Now, you got the X-ray flux here. It's a flux. It's a fluctuation from the baseline, Okay, so whenever you see these other spikes, like, no matter if they're going up or down, they're still spikes. Now, I get that, when we look at these things, we want them to kind of go up the scale so we can get a good flare count on this. But like with some of the other graphs we look at, sometimes when they spike down, they actually are telling you something's increased. But with this, we haven't had nothing big with the flares. So, but you can actually see how we're kind of ticking back up a little bit right now. And I'm going to show you why here in a minute. Now, the geomagnetic activity, this is really what we've been paying attention to right now. Now, remember, the KP directly corresponds with the level of storm we're in. So you got the G1s right here, and then this is the G2. Now, we only went up to G2 for just a very short amount of time, and then we bounced back down. And guys, if you remember right, go back 2 or 3 days on my video, and you're going to hear me say this exact thing. It's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. We're going to pop in and out of storm level. We had a good chance of getting into G2, maybe even G3 if it gets stronger, okay? But what I'm noticing, and this is my own personal observation, I was watching Monday Night Football, and I'm going to show you something here in a few minutes, but I might, it never did upload, daggone it. Anyway, basically it's the TV glitching out. You get the crazy looking pixelization going everywhere. Kind of remind me when I was like 10 years old or 5 years old, and my grandma and grandpa had me up there trying to turn the rotor on the antenna. That kind of a thing. But we are definitely having some disruptions. Internet-wise, communication-wise. I've even had, my family, obviously, here in the house talking about, these. I looked over at my wife, and I'm like, what's wrong? She said, well, my game keeps messing up. She was trying to play some, just trying to relax after work, playing a game on her phone, and it kept, stalling and, like, doing crazy stuff. So then me and my son started watching, and today's my son's birthday. He's 21. He's an awesome kid, man. My oldest son turned 25, believe it or not, guys, last week. They're exactly a week apart. So, yeah, they're both great kids. They, like I said, my kids are my life. And I really should say my wife and my kids are my life, because that's what it is. But anyway. So, what I was saying, we were watching Monday Night Football, and it kept glitching out. It almost to the point where we had to almost change the channel because it got so bad. So I popped over and I looked at the Schumann. The Schumann's it was spiking at the time. Then we got this, right? So, we are getting solar weather, and this is exactly what we would expect. You can expect to see some of these communication disruptions, especially where we have the cracks in our geomagnetic field, okay? We can, I'm not sure exactly where to go to look to see where they're actually at, but I know that they can tell where they're at. I just don't know where to go to look for that yet. I've been trying to figure that out. So I'd like to be able to specifically say, hey, there's a crack right there. You know what I mean? And know what I'm looking at. But just a little quick thing here before we move on. You guys see this spot down here? This thing is starting to get bigger. And it's actually already, ejecting a little bit. And I'll show it to you guys here in a few minutes. But obviously the story today is this big coronal hole. Okay? We'll go more into detail on that. Plus this big active area here, which is now no longer a sunspot. This thing was a sunspot over here, then it wasn't, then it was again, now it's not, then it was, and it's not again. So right now it's not. But this one here emerged really, really quick, and it actually had some activity right around it. And I'll show it to you here in a minute. But again, I'm trying to get through this for people that just want the information first. Okay. Here's the ACE data, right? Solar wind speed. Always look at our range, remember? Okay, 2 to 700. So we're hanging right around anywhere between 6 and 700 right now. Looks to be about the normal of what we're seeing right now. And that's exactly what I'm seeing on the magnetopause and everything too, okay? The density, kind of hanging right around 10. And when the speed goes up, the density comes down, and that's what we're seeing. This is what I call popcorn. all that means is it's very variable conditions. In other words, we're getting a data point high, and then the next data point's real low, and then vice versa, all the way down through here, and it makes it look like popcorn, little dots. That's just that's just a little name I gave it, I guess. But the temperature here looks to be like it's elevated, but it's not going crazy either, and none of this stuff is. All right, this is higher readings, but it's very consistent, which is exactly what we would expect from a large coronal hole. This is what I want people to understand, okay? Because we get these hits, and what we've seen the past, year or two, we just get a little short burst of hit, and it goes away, and it comes back an hour later, so on and so forth. That's because we really haven't experienced a durational storm like we're seeing now in quite some time. But this is what we can expect to see when we get a long duration storm due to a bigger coronal hole. The conditions will, go higher, and then they'll stay there. They're not going to be dropping out and coming back, dropping out, coming back. This is what they're going to do. They're going to get this high, and then they're going to do this. Okay, you see this right here. It popped us up here, but look, when it dropped back down, what did it do? It went to very active conditions and stayed there. It didn't go down any further. So that meant that we were still having consistent geomagnetic activity from solar wind. It just took a little bit of extra punch to get us back up into storm level again. Once we're here for this amount of time, it doesn't take a whole lot to put us over the edge. Which is why right now, as we're just slowly upticking, it would be really easy for us just to skip right over the 2 and go into a 3 if we get a hard enough hit. Okay? I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm just saying that is a possibility that hardly anybody's even throwing out there. I'm throwing it out there because it is a possibility. I hope it doesn't happen, and even if it did, it's not going to be like catastrophic or nothing, but what I'm seeing with the internet disruptions and the communications and all that kind of stuff, not just being localized, but globally, that tells me that, we are in a good solar wind stream. So, anyway, we got this Aurora forecast, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more too in a minute. As you can see, how this stuff starts popping up, and as the speed increases, the geomagnetic activity increases, wherever we have the cracks in our magnetic field, they're going to get very intense auroras if the cracks are up towards, the northern part of the world. So you can see that right there. You see how they kind of rotate through. And again, this isn't something way off the chart crazy looking. But I do think that this thing could end up being just a little bit off right now, because it's not really showing much of anything lower than that. What I'm seeing, some of the reports, I'm seeing stuff from down in here, even down towards Colorado, down this way. So I'm not so sure how accurate this one is right now. Now you can kind of see, if you look out here, you'll see little patches of light green come through there. That's still only telling you there's a 10% possibility in that area. It's not giving it much of a chance. But I do think that we're actually seeing them down in here right now. So, alright. Again, here's your levels. I already showed that stuff to you up here. We'll look at that one more time before we get off this page. So you can see we went up to G2, back down. We're heading into that. Now, I want to show you something real quick where we got that here. This is spaceweather.com. It's basically telling you, yes, we did get into G-Class 2, but then it goes on to talk about how we could go back up into a G2 on the 29th, which is right now. Okay, they go off of UTC time. It's roughly about 2 to 3 a.m. UTC. It's about 10:45 where I'm at on the East Coast, or Eastern time. So you can see these auroras. I mean, these auroras are very cool. Now, remember yesterday the one I was telling you about how we got the pink auroras, And the reason why we got the pink auroras, well, I guess I could take you back here and show it to you real quick. Nope, go back another day. That was a pretty cool one too. They, spaceweather.com has been knocking it out of the park, in my opinion, for, last 6 months, if not longer. I mean, they're doing a really good job, is what I'm trying to say. Their website's put together really, really well. It's easy to get to the information, and it's well spoken and it's accurate. So, I would, guys, I would go here if anybody's trying to get this, a good grasp on space weather. And they touch on a lot of different subjects here too. But if you guys do share this with people, please give them their credit. They do a lot of work over here, and just like anybody else, they deserve to get the credit they have for the work that they're doing. So anyway, you got the pink auroras I already showed you guys, and that's because the charged particles from the solar wind were coming closer to the surface. They were getting deeper into our atmosphere. The oxygen ones that they typically bounce off of produce these green ones. Okay? This is from nitrogen. The pink is. And that's closer to the surface. I went over this a little bit yesterday. I think it's 100 kilometers different. Where did I see that at? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So, 100 to 2 kilometers above the Earth's surface is where we see the green ones. But at 100 kilometers level and below, it starts striking the nitrogen molecules, okay? And that's what causes the pink ones. So that's just telling you that it is within 100 kilometers at least, if not closer. That's why. And it's because of the McPherson effect. The cracks during the equinox. The crack in our magnetic field during the equinox. It's an uptick that we typically see. So let's put that back to where it was at. Ricky, how you doing? Just checking in on the chat here real quick. How do we protect our homes of RF waves, radio frequency waves? There's a lot of different stuff out there that you can get, guys. Connie, there really is. Johnny, good to see you. That is a big subject, and there's a lot of people that sell like the Faraday cages for your house, pretty much. You're just plugging them in. Night, Bruce. Glad you stopped by, bud. Ellie, good to see you. Yeah. I mean, you can do stuff like that. Listen, there's a lot of different things we can do. Yeah, lead paint. Hey, I know people make fun of that, but that's true. Lead is awesome when it comes to blocking that kind of stuff. Should we be afraid of 5, that letter? I don't think we should. Linda, let me say this, okay? I don't think we should be afraid of anything. Okay? What I will say, do I think we need to be concerned and more knowledgeable? Yes, I do. So, yeah, why do you think they got rid of it? Yeah, no kidding, Ricky. Tinfoil, yeah. Good one, Johnny. I like that. Archives, good to see you. Yeah, you don't want to go around a whole bunch of lead, guys. I was just kidding about that, all right? I live in a 1942, well, we'll get into that after we go through the information. Sorry. I'm trying to stay on point here, guys. That's why I don't bring up the chat a whole lot, because I like to interact with you guys. I'll bring it up after I get through everything here, okay? Anyway, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to stay focused, okay, for those that just need the information. Anyway, you got the velocity here, okay? This is the magnetosphere models. The sun's off to the left here. And again, I'm just going to go through here and push play. And you're going to see pretty much what I've been showing you the past couple days anyway, okay? Now, what I want people to look at and what might help people understand why we're seeing these things is this. Okay? That's a massive amount of pressure around our planet. All right, that's very significant. You know, typically this thing doesn't look like not even close to this. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of charged particles getting through, causing more pressure than what, you know, we really should be getting on a normal basis. Now, during a storm like we're in, this is what we would expect to see. So you can see how we had some waves come in there close to the end of it. And you can also see how we're getting kind of squeezed like an egg. And, you know, this one's directly telling you that this is pressure. You see this word right here? It's just what it calls it. It calls it pressure. That's what it is. So, you know, what happens when we get squeezed on by pressure, right? Something's got to move. You know what I mean? We got to fend it off or something's going to move. And unfortunately, sometimes during that fending off, stuff moves. Okay? You can kind of see here too. I thought this was pretty cool. You see this? This is usually there all the time. But look how that thing is kind of almost like flickering. It goes almost completely away, then comes back. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen it really do that. It ain't nothing to freak out about or nothing, but that's just something that I noticed. I thought that was pretty neat. But, you know, I look at this thing all the time, so. Let's just exile that. Okay, so now we're over here to ISWA. Before we go there, though, I think we'll do a little update on the geoelectric field because this thing is active, I have to say. While this thing's playing, I'm going to open my pop. Sorry, guys. I hate to do that to you right there. Anyway, you can definitely see, guys, where we're getting energy, right? We're getting some pretty good hits here. And it's been, anybody that's been watching for the past couple of days, I've been showing you this exact same thing for 2 or 3 days now. So, who had the headache? Was it Paul? Or who had the headache? Brian, maybe? Anyway, whoever that was, I apologize. That would be probably because of this. Okay? And this. Cardiologist departments are now taking all this stuff into consideration. Do you guys know that? They're starting to accept the fact that space weather plays a big role in everything in our lives. You know, right down to our health. You know, and it's been a theory for a very long time. It's just nobody has really had the kahunas to come out and claim it. Now people are. And I'm thankful for that and for the sacrifices those people have made to get this stuff out there. And made a path that at least I can halfway at least walk down and have a basic understanding and show everybody else my basic understanding. Right? You know, we don't have to have some big, huge degree to know that, hey, when this thing goes the increase in color, means we're getting more activity. Did I need a degree to tell somebody that? No, I don't. You know, so that's what I would say. Because we get a lot of, you know, well, I'm listening to PhDs and I'm listening to this and listening to that, and that's great, because I do too. All right, yes. Does a PhD have more knowledge on these things than me? Yes. But I don't sell myself short, and you guys shouldn't either. Don't sell yourselves short. You guys are just as smart as anybody else walking around, and you can look at this thing just like I do and come to your own conclusions like I do. You know? So please, look at these things for yourself. That's what I urge you to do, and I've said that since the beginning of my channel. So please do that, guys. I really hope that you do. Because, you know, if I just take this for example, what if I looked at this and was so intimidated, I just walked away from it? Well, then I wouldn't have the knowledge of this is what I'm doing now, and I wouldn't be able to share it with you. Yeah, somebody else probably would have picked up the torch there, but who knows? Maybe not. So it takes us to lose all that fear and jump into something that we don't think we can actually understand. And you'll find that most of the time you can understand it. Okay, so I'm going to back this off a little bit at first because I want to show you kind of the overall what's going on here. This is ISWA, And obviously this is the sun. This over here is the 171, and this is the 304. Now the 171 is one we look at typically because it shows us a pretty overall view of what's actually going on. That, and it's bright because it's yellow, it's easy to see, that kind of thing. 304 is what we usually look at to see if we can see filaments. What they will look like is little movable fingers that are like a darker color. And you'll see them, but you got to zoom in most of the time. This is a filament, but it's easy to see because space is the background. But if there's a filament here, it's kind of hard to see because the sun camouflages it. So you got we'll zoom into this one right here. And as we're doing that, I think I am going to, let's do this real quick. Man, that did it quick. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in even further so you guys can get a really good look at this thing. So, this is the one that was a sunspot, then it wasn't, wasn't, right? I believe that it looks like it may have regenerated again, so it may be getting another classification as a sunspot again. But you can see how stuff's starting to act around it. There's activity going on. There's even some smaller ones kind of popping up back here. Those didn't look like they lasted very long because they decayed pretty quickly. But do you see this? You guys see that? Watch this at the end of this time lapse. It's like straight up. And I'll point to it again. You see how these things are kind of loops? This is not. That's going straight out. You see that? That's what we would call probably a solar vortex. That's probably one of the tornadoes that we look at, a solar tornado. But I can't tell if it's actually just going to shoot on out or what it's going to do. But it looks like just a solid jet of energy getting shot straight on out into space. I can't really tell if that's what's going on because obviously the sun's the background. I'm not really seeing any kind of eruptive behavior here, but check this out. You see this one? So watch how fast this thing grows. This is all within like 10 hours. It goes from almost nothing to what could actually be a legitimate sunspot. Because it looks to me like it's grabbing hold of some characteristics that's very, very good for a sunspot designation. So I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if this thing don't get a number. It would be 2774, I think. But look around the edges here. Watch did you see that right there? We're getting some like eruptive behavior. Watch right here. I'm going to pause it because it's easier just to grab the slide bar sometimes. And I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit, but that's okay. I think you guys can probably see pretty good there. So just look right around this thing because you're going to see what looks to be some eruptions. Okay, now that's at the beginning. Now watch what happens. Remember, watch right in here. You're going to see this thing kind of like this, and it splits. Like something's blowing out. See that? The whole thing did. It goes all the way out like that. Okay, you see how it's got loops? Remember I said yesterday, I was trying to explain that to you guys? When the middle part of these loops touch each other, it's basically like a short. It'll explode out. And that loop will be broken and it'll flick both directions. Watch. See that? So, and also if you look over here, as this is doing that, I think this is actually a filament. We just can't hardly see it. That's attached to this. Watch. Watch right in here, because at the same time this thing is kind of doing its thing, you see this over here show up. Right here. See that? Now watch what happens when I toggle it back and forth. Okay, so hope you guys could see that and understand what I was saying there. But if we even just look at this little area here, you can see it's erupting a little bit, doing a little something, something. And guys, the sun is always doing something. Usually we just don't talk about the really small stuff, right? Let's push play. But you're going to be able to see like ejections all over the limb. They're little ones, but you know it's still activity. 304. Now I showed you guys, telling you guys about a filament. Look at this thing. Okay, I think it goes all the way back to the sunspot. Watch. Hold on a minute. Let me zoom in for you. You can kind of see it right here. See how it's dancing around right there? And it goes all the way back to here. I think I can zoom in just a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, let me go a little bit more. It's right here. See it dancing around right there? If you can kind of follow it back, it does go all the way back to here. So when this thing kind of blew out, that filament kind of flicked around too. So I don't know if it sent a CME our way or not. If it did, it probably isn't nothing real big or huge. But what will happen is, because we're still gonna be getting solar wind increase for the next 3 or 4 days. So if this thing, if it actually did leave the sun, and if it's coming our direction, if we get hit with something like that during a magnetic storm anyway, it's just going to increase everything. That's my point on that. So anyway, let's zoom back out real quick. Okay, so we got this. Again, this is our sun's off to the right here on this one. It's our magnetosphere, our shields, okay? And it's doing stuff like we would 100% expect it to, okay? So nothing real extreme there, but it is showing you the storm that we're under, right? Same thing with this one. Okay, the highest wind I seen there was close to 800, 800 kilometers per second, which is close to 2 million miles per hour. But also, if you guys look here, we've been seeing this a lot. See how you got these little pieces of red here? Let me zoom in just for a second. So we're seeing like voids, is what I'm saying, in the pressure that's going on here. So that could be, a result of some of those cracks with the Mephiran effect. Who knows? But that's definitely there. Okay, so then we go to, let's go here real quick. G1, I already told you guys what that means. Let's go to, this is G2. All right, this is what we're kind of expecting to happen again right here. Long duration storms may cause transformer damage. Corrective actions may be required for spacecraft orientation, which means they would have to just make adjustments to keep the satellites in the right place, or manned craft out there, like the space station and stuff. Also, guys, I like to keep in mind the bigger picture, everything. If you throw all this together, along with everything else that's happening in the world, it makes you wonder what the heck is going on and what's getting ready to happen. Because I'm going to speak on something here in a minute after I show you guys this information that I don't typically talk about. And I'm just going to let you guys understand what I'm thinking, because I think it all plays together. I really do. Here's seeds, okay? Yeah, I mean, you can see over here on the red view where we're definitely in a more active debris area. You can see it, just all the different lights flying around. And those are charged particles and probably little meteorites. That's probably what you're looking at there. Now, if we want to look at stereo A, we're probably not going to see much, but yeah. This thing's missing all kinds of time right now. It's jumping around really, really bad. I don't know why it missed like 10, 12 hours there the day before. it missed a bunch of time too. So, yeah, we're starting to run into that crap again. Okay. I do want to go over earthquakes, okay? I know that this is one thing that we know increases, and it definitely is. Okay, so right now that was the most recent one at a 3.3 in California there. But if you guys just, and this is just one day, okay? I got my thing set on one day. If you remember right, I had to set it to 7 about 4 or 5 days ago to get this amount of earthquakes. So what I'm telling you is we're getting a lot of earthquakes right now. Whether they're strong or not. But right now, you know, I haven't seen much of anything below like a 2.5. So, we got this one down here was like a 6. I know it was a 5.1, 5.2, you know, and so on and so forth. And something else I kind of noticed was the fact that a lot of these are kind of shallow. And there were a couple of them that were like 100 kilometers deep, but the majority of these are like within 30 kilometers. You can see it down here. Now, whenever you see the 10 kilometers exact like that, it's probably a default it goes into until it is able to determine what the actual depth was. That's what these things are programmed to do. So that's why a lot of times we'll get on here and say, my gosh, why are we having so many of them right at 10 kilometers? Well, we're really not. It's just what is, it's a default that this program sets to until it figures out exactly how deep it is. So, okay, guys, for anybody else that didn't want, you know, that was just the information. That was the data. So hopefully we did that fast enough for everybody. How long have I been on? That's all right. Yeah, about 42 minutes. So I really hope that, you know, people like that, like it that way. So if anybody, you know, from this point on, we're going to talk to each other. Okay. Let's see what the stream health is. Good. Okay. Cool. We're going to talk to each other. I'm going to see if you guys got any questions. But I wanted you guys to get the, you know, I want to give those people a chance that were used to my edited videos, a chance to still see the data in a timely way. Okay. Yeah, I kind of just threw this live stream thing in the mix of everything. And I'm going to find the proper place for it, okay, guys? Just give me some time to work out a schedule. I promise you that I'm working on that. That's something that because I want people to understand, you know, the ones that do understand what they're looking at, and they want to come here just to see the data and, you know, maybe hear an opinion or two or advice on something or the other. I'm cool. I really want to, you know, give those people a chance because that's really what I was doing for 2 years. And this live stream thing is new. To me, anyway. You know, I've live streamed before with a bunch of other people, but... Well, thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, nobody really got nasty with me about that. But, you know, I appreciate the honesty. Thanks, Della. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody hit that like button. But, you know, I changed the format of what I was doing, just like with the snap of a finger, and I felt bad for doing that. And once I started doing this live stream thing, I wanted to get used to it. And that's why I stuck with it, because now I'll be able to do a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Smokey Mountain Gal. Appreciate that. I guess that, you know, I could take some advice on, you know, that 42 minutes I just did. You know, I'll be able to cut that down, you know, if I'd have left some of that other little side thing I was doing there. You know, I guess the first like 5 or 6 minutes of the stream here, we were just talking to each other for a second. So I guess I could just say hi and then just go straight into it. And that would cut 5 minutes off of that. And then, you know, instead of me kind of going off on the side, I'll wait until I get all the data in, and then we'll talk, you know. Hey, Rip, what's up, bud? Archives, good to see you. Susan Donahue. Strong supporter right there. She's been here for a long time. She does a good job, too. She's in here trying to help out as much as she can, and she's always been helpful to you guys, trying to talk to you guys. Archives has. So, Ricky, too. Ricky's been here for a long time. Guys, a lot of you have. I feel bad that I can't make everybody a mod. You know what I mean? I really wish I could, because so many of you guys deserve that. You know, I can't have 50 mods, because if, you know, eventually something will happen, somebody will get mad at another mod, and it'd just be a big issue. I've just seen so many other channels. Matter of fact, I've seen a couple channels collapse completely because their mods started fighting with each other because they had like 50 or 60 moderators, and it killed the channel. It never recovered. And you know, so I just don't want that to happen. Let's see here. What are you asking there, a little too? Let's see here. Wait. A little too spicy. Is the tool back up where the sphere was captured a few days ago? Oh, that big one? Yeah, that was Stereo A. Okay, it wasn't really down. Yeah, Stereo A is not giving us hardly anything though. I guess we could go over here to it real quick. Where's seeds at? Did I like X out of that? I bet I did. Oh, there it is. This is Stereo A, guys. This is where, you know, that big object was right here. So, you know, it is kind of funny that it was missing data and stuff. You remember how that all went down, guys? If I take you back to the 23rd, which we can do that real quick. Here's the thing. Sometimes this is what happens. Let me tell you what happens with this especially the seeds site right here. You'll come on here and you'll see, like for the 25th, you'll come on here and it looks like it's missing here and there, right? It'll miss an hour here, hour there. Well, then if you come back on the next day, a lot of times they've went through and fixed the issue that they had, and they put all that data back in. So you get a full, you know, no missing time. They haven't done that with the 23rd. Okay, they do that more times than not. So why not this time? I can tell you why. Because the one thing that is missing is this thing up here. You're not going to see it on this site. Why? Because they did not want us to see it on this particular view. Because anybody that looked at that would have seen exactly what we seen right here with no filter. It would have been bam in your face right here. Okay? So when Scott ran that through the programming, that's why it popped out. And that's why they did not want this out here on this one. I'm telling you. There's no other reason why just to eliminate one time capture there. Why? When the other sites have it, this one took it out. Why? So let's pause it here and we'll go to that and I'll show it to you. 1424. Remember the one that one, the big sphere was 1454. Yeah. Imagine that. It's not there. We get a capture every half hour and then it misses, you know, it skipped all the way to an hour. See? So everybody can make their own mind up on that. You guys know how I feel about that, and you know my opinion, right? So, yeah. Why this one? Now, see, watch. I'm going to take you guys over to ISWA. This will help explain what I was talking about. So, let's go to... Yeah, we're going for this one. Guys, if you guys ever go over to ISWA, you see these little sub-tabs? Go over and hit these things and just start learning. You know, if I hit the solar tab and I go here, look what happens. See that drop-down box that comes? See that? It's telling you exactly what you're looking at. Now, on these extreme ultraviolet sun captures, it doesn't have a whole lot to tell you there, but if you go to something like this, and you click on that, look at the definition you get. It's telling you, matter of fact, we can look at this one. This is the coronal hole, right? This is the coronal hole detector. So, but it explains to you in detail, if you go up here, what this is actually showing you and where it's at. So, it's a good thing to do. Go over and just look at that and just kind of, you could even do it casually. You wouldn't believe the information you can pick up just being casual about something. So if I come here and I go to the solar tab here and click on the 7 sub tab, stereo A is what we were looking at, right? So let's take a look at it. And we can go back here and change the day. Let's just put it in movie mode. How about that? And we'll start it. We'll have it do 100 captures, okay? And we'll go back to the 23rd. And we will start it at, well, that's good enough where it's at, 20. Because we want it to go back past the 1400 hour mark. So let's do that. Hit apply. The highest you guys can go back is 300 frames, okay? So if you want a time lapse longer than that, you got to put a couple of them together. So you got 9/22, the date. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Okay, right there. Guess we should probably zoom back out a little bit, huh? So if I grab it and we move it, okay, the next capture should be the one, right? Now watch, it's going to be there. Watch. That was strange. Did you guys see that? Ah, I see what's going on. This one actually gives you a capture every 15 minutes. So instead of a half hour, you're getting one every 15 minutes. So at 1424, we're going to go to 1439. Watch. And then the next one will be 1454. There we go. Right? So why did they choose to take just this one specific one off of the seed site? This one has it here now. Why is that one choosing not to post this one? Like I said, guys, I think we all know why. And people are too afraid to say it. They really are. I don't think, yeah. I mean, I'm not calling anybody like cowards or anything, but what I'm saying, you can see this, okay? 1524, I'll go back. 1424. Where's 1454? It's not there. But it's right there. Same tool. Okay? This is also a good way to explain to you guys that this data is accessible to anybody who wants it. You got to know how to ask for it, and then you got to be able to take the data and put it into a model for us to see, right? So this shows you that these are two different entities using the same data and showing us what they want. And that's what's going on here. That's why this one shows it and the other one doesn't over at Seeds. It's just not there. So it's not like the data's corrupt because it showed up on other stuff. So yeah. Let's tell you what, guys, let's go ahead and pin this. Wow. Let's see here. So this causing eclipse of the sun. Some pretty crazy pics in the last couple of days. Yeah, menacing. That is guys, we've always wondered if things are eclipsing the sun. We talk about a sun simulator and that whole thing, and then so many other things. And again, I talked about very briefly Mr. MBB3's video he did, and he was showing what looks to be an eclipse of the sun during these wildfires. Now, I got my own video of that, right? I think, did I show it to you guys? I'm not sure if I did or not. If you guys got any questions, pop them in there, and I'll see if I can't help you out. But let me, I'm gonna look on my phone here and see if I put that video in Google Photos or not. I doubt it, but who knows? Maybe I did. I'm gonna look. Hey, they're in Google Photos. Hold on a minute. I'll grab them. We'll go look at them. Okay, you guys see that? That's just a single capture. That was sunset, looking directly to the west. That's the sun. And you didn't need anything to look at it. So, and what you're seeing on the outside is probably this dirt on my lens or dirt on the windshield that I'm filming this through, okay? And the only reason I filmed it through my windshield was because obviously I was in the middle of the road. And I don't, advise anybody to do what I did there. I should have never done that. Matter of fact, I pulled over and took another video because I didn't want to be stupid like that. But anytime you're taking a video of these kinds of things, all right? Especially if they're, if they're from our sky and that kind of a situation, you want to try to eliminate all possibilities of some kind of crazy camera anomaly or flare or smudge, air bubble, all that kind of stuff that we see, right? Let me get back to that. I'm going to get back to normal. And I guess what I'm saying, if you're going to take pictures, please don't take a picture behind a pane of glass, like through a window. Or, don't take a picture with your phone that has a very, very dirty lens, or if it's changing temperature real quick where it could condensate and cause all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So what I'm saying is we need to try to eliminate all those things before we go jumping out here saying something is something that it's not. And I showed you guys this one for one reason. We're looking at this thing, and what does that look like? Right? Looks like there's something right there. But if you step back for a minute and you think about what you're saying that you can actually see something like that that's next to the sun with your bare eyes. Okay? Which I can tell you right now is not going to happen. Okay? Second off, if you look around, you can see where I took this behind my windshield. You see the little like condensation dirt marks here? And that's exactly what this is. It's just in that right position where it's disrupting the light from the camera. That's it. Or the light from the sun getting to the camera the correct way. So, 9 times out of 10 when we're looking at stuff like this, we have to do things like this before we go out there and just start slamming, pushing something that It could be nothing more than soap or dirt or anything else. And just to give you a little insight on what's going on with this, Mr. MBB3 showed a video, and it was like eclipsed right here, solid red right here. So I don't know what could have caused that to be so exact just in that spot, unless it was a true eclipse. But that's another thing too, you know. If that actually happened, why didn't more people actually see that? Are they not paying attention, or what, or how they obfuscate that kind of thing? There's just so many things there would have to fall into place for us to miss an eclipse of the sun. I ain't saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that it would take a lot. So here's some more of those captures Scott was showing. I mean, these things are just in your face like, what in the heck? I mean, look at that. Yeah, my jaw drops every time I see stuff like this, because it's like, wow. I mean, where in the world? And then stuff like this too. You know, this is stereo A. What he just showed you there, that's Lasco C2. Okay? Let's get the chat back up here. Let's okay, that's pinned. Alright. Trying to pin the chat so we could, you know. Yeah, Della, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Those are some amazing pics. Be thankful cosmic rays. What's it say there? What are you saying, Ellie? Could mess you up. I live around elites and we always get protection during high UV. Yeah. You know, cosmic rays is a very real danger, especially for those that fly. And those that fly, you know, patterns that are closer to the North Pole or the South. Like I said multiple times, guys, the stuff gets in easier on the poles. So when we don't have that, let me show you. Let's go to... When we don't have that extra energy, cosmic rays get in easier. We have to have some geomagnetic activity, because when this thing's on the bottom for multiple hours, even days, they issue those cosmic ray alerts. And those cosmic rays are getting in more and more because we're in solar minimum. The sun has a shield also that shields our solar system from outside stuff. Just like the Earth has a magnetic field, so does the sun, but it stretches out and protects all of us. So when it's in a lower state, more stuff from then gets through. And because the sun's weak, so are we, so more stuff gets in through us. See how that compounds? And all of a sudden, something that wasn't a big deal becomes a real big deal. Let me refresh this Schumann real quick. See if it gives us anything new to look at. Nope. So, you know, this is an ongoing spike right now, guys. Okay? Okay. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, sun gazing. I know that there's a lot of theories behind that. I'm not even going to comment because I don't want to steer people the wrong way or the right way on that, because what you just said there about losing your sight is definitely a possibility if you're doing it wrong. So that's something that I would never even halfway think that I would be smart enough to tell somebody how to do something like that. I just don't have that kind of knowledge. Here you go, Johnny. That's awesome. Heliosphere needs a GoFundMe. That's a good one, Navy. Wow. Sherry Lynn, hey guys, she's been here a long time too. We're not taking pictures of planets next to the sun? Okay. What do you think those are? Oh, you're welcome, Sherry. I appreciate you for sure. I'm legitimately curious. You know, I like to try to look at all angles of it. Might be something I haven't considered. And that's why I would Hey, Mighty Mark. Been burnt twice over. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, we do. We see a lot. There's so many lens flares out there, guys, that people think are something that they're really not. It is just so crazy. What you want to know about Angelo? Did I miss your question, bud? Let me know what the question is. Give you a heads up. What do I think? Did you say something up here? Did you ask me something? Maybe I'll. Does the blue? Okay, I'm not gonna say that word, but yeah, you guys want to have an effect on the atmosphere? It most certainly can. That is again, guys. That's something that. Oh, it's okay. You call me what you want. Do I think that, let me answer Angelo's question there first. Yes, I think that, anybody that understands what's going on with that BB right there, when it's used in a mass way, I think that it most certainly could have a severe effect, right? Oh, did it at 71? Did it peak at 71? That's pretty high, guys. It's not like crazy high, but that's pretty high. Let's see here. So yeah, Angelo, I mean, that's just a short answer for your question there. In my opinion, yes, I think it could really affect our atmosphere, especially if it's being used in a mass way. But there's so many, like I said, guys, lots of different stuff out there that could actually be going on. And then to answer Tam Tam, is the sun simulator true? I do believe so. Okay, that's my belief. And again, guys, no, you're welcome, Angelo. How can I say this? I've seen so much stuff that caused me to question in such a big way. And then we went and looked at some of the stuff, like, go look at Jeff P's work, guys. You want to know stuff about the sun simulator? Go over to Jeff P's channel, and you will most certainly see what's going on with the. He went in. I mean, he went straight in depth, guys. And Scott and Claudia wrote a book on it, so you guys can go look at that too. I think it's still on sale. I'm not sure exactly where. I think it's on Amazon. I'm not 100% on that. But again, if you guys want me to get that information for you, I can if you want to get the book. Yes. Tam, when you move your camera, okay, I seen somebody, you guys are talking about the lens flares. Sherry Lynn, I'm glad you brought that up. I really am. I actually did a video a long time ago, and you know what we can do? Hold on a minute. What I will do, I'm going to get rid of that anyway. Let's get rid of some of this stuff up here. That way we can. What we'll do, I'm going to go over to my YouTube page, okay? And I got a couple videos from back in the day. I'm going to see if I can't find them. That will show you, because I went through and I showed people how to do, Sherry, the thumb test. That's kind of what she's talking about. If I understand what she's saying. Wages World interview. Real talk. You want me to call in, brother? He's live right now. I might go over there and call him. Who knows? I think he's doing a real talk radio show here. We might have to go over there in a minute, guys. Let me get to my channel real quick, and we'll try to answer that question real quick, and I might call him. If I call him, will you guys all go over there? Please? I would love for you guys all to go over here to Mark's channel. Let's make his day, and I'll go over and I'll call in. You guys can come over there. It's fun anyway. Let's okay, cool. Yeah, that's what we'll do then. I'll go, let me show you this on my channel here real quick, and because I want to answer Sherry's, or help you guys understand what Sherry's talking about here. She knows what she's talking about with this, guys. Okay, and she's been around this community for a while. Christine, good to see you. Already said hi to you, but I'll say hi again. Thanks for being here. Isaiah's granny, cool. I do want to go down here. I want to show you guys that, because this what I'm going to show you here is going to eliminate some of almost 90% of the questions on whether or not something is a lens flare or not. Okay? If I can find it. So give me a second. This may take me a second. Let's see here. Because I actually did it for you guys. If I can't find it, I will find it tonight, and I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. But it's as simple as this. Okay? If you guys are going to take a video or take a picture of anything, like if you're looking at the sun, what you need to do is, if you're looking at something, you snap a picture, right? So if you got your camera pointed at the sun and you think you see the lens flare, you know it's a lens flare because you're moving the camera around, right? And it's moving with the sun. Exactly opposite, but it's moving the same distance. To confirm that, all you have to do is put your finger in front of your camera and cover up the sun, the original light source. Don't cover up the lens flare, cover up the sun. If you cover up the sun, the lens flare will disappear too. If it's a lens flare. And 99% of the time, it's a lens flare. There are some out there that aren't. Okay? Those are the ones that we look at. Those are the ones that we try to sift through and find. Because that's where all the stuff that all the stuff that we've been preaching about, talking about, all that stuff, that's where we want to look at. We don't want to show somebody, a lens flare. What's that do for anybody? It doesn't do any good for anybody when we do that. Because we're giving bad information. It destroys everybody's credibility. Because if it's proven to be a lens flare after somebody says it's not, one or two times, yeah, that's a mistake. But after that, it becomes blatant that you're actually showing people stuff on purpose. And that's a lie. And that's why, when I do show you guys like captures from somebody that sends me stuff, I 100%, I want all the information I can get from that person about that capture, right? And, if it comes out to where I cannot debunk that it's a lens flare, or I cannot, if I'm not 100%, PCM, yeah, guys, yeah, I appreciate that, PCM. It's, man, it's been kind of rough, I'll tell you that. But you know what? Let me say this. I've been through so much, guys, medically. But I don't know that I would change anything. Because my fear would be that if I change something, then maybe I wouldn't have what I have now as far as my family. And I wouldn't want any of that to change, no matter what kind of pain and whatever I've been through in the past. You know, my kids, my wife, that is my wife. That is my life. Okay? And if I have to go through what I had to go through to keep things the way that they are, I would do it every day, over and over and over again. That's just what I have to do. And again, that's me. I understand, and I know that a lot of people don't, think the same way that I do. But there are those out there that don't. Man, I wish I could change that. And they start dwelling on it, and it really starts getting into their head. And it is just so, yeah, Johnny, we've actually talked about that. Me and my wife, homeschooling the kids, even before all this other crap started. Right now, in where I'm living, they actually gave us the option for the first 6 or even 12 weeks. The kids could actually stay home and do school through the internet without any kind of, repercussion. Basically homeschooling your kids. But we wouldn't be actually schooling them. The teachers would be. And so they had an option. They could either go back to school like normal, or they could do it all over the internet. But when they go back to school, they were only going like half the days. It was two days one week and 3 days the next. So it would be, what was it, Tuesday, Thursday one week, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday the next week. So, and plus then they got the computer stuff in between there. So it is just, oh, what'd you say there, Tommy? Me too, but I almost died in February from a diabetic. You didn't know you were diabetic? Wow. Tommy, I might have you email me. I might have some questions for you, because I know I kind of touched on it in my last video, and I didn't really want to go too much in depth because I was trying to keep it short, but it didn't turn out to be that. But my extremities, I'm retaining water really, really bad. I'm talking to the tune that I couldn't even get my shoes on today. I legitimately had to unlace my shoes just so I could go, with me and my son. Today was his birthday. We went out with a friend and his son. Went to Olive Garden, actually. And and I'm telling you, I mean, it's this crazy edema. I mean, I know what edema is because I had cellulitis so many times. But this is way worse than I've ever experienced. I'm talking, I can take my finger, you press on your skin, and anybody don't know what edema is. It's just water retention. But if you press on your skin, it'll hold that shape, and your skin will blanch out. It'll turn kind of white. And they test that. The doctor will. They'll push on it, and I think they count how many seconds it takes for it to come back to normal. Mine doesn't come back to normal. If I push my finger in and I actually push on my shin and touch my bone, push a little bit hard and touch the bone, that indentation and that dent will stay there for 2 hours. It's crazy. I can legitimately rub my leg and I can almost feel the fluid just pushing up and down my leg. It's I've never experienced this bad. It's I'm almost, yeah. If it's not any better in the next couple of days, I'm actually going to go to the doctor about it. But enough about that. Yeah, cardiac. There's a lot of, yes, that was, yeah. Oh, you're a paraplegic. Wow. Hate to hear that. Last November? You're walking again. Awesome, Sherry. That's cool. Awesome. No way. My gosh, Sherry. Wow. That's horrible. Man, I'll be praying for you. I mean, that's got to be rough. Guys, and this is what I would say, and I apologize, Sherry, if this might hit you the wrong way, but she's making it, right? It's been rough. It doesn't get much. It doesn't get any rougher than that. I'm sorry, guys. The loss of a child would be the worst. Okay, in my opinion. So she's making it. We can too. And it puts things in perspective that sometimes we don't have it the worst. Which is why, I don't typically talk about my health and stuff, because there's people out there like Sherry here that was paraplegic because of after back surgeries, gets to walking again, then loses their child. That's horrible. That is a rough way to go, no matter how you guys cut that up. And to be frank with you, Sherry, I'm proud of you that you're even able to talk about it. That shows that people are positive. She's a positive person. That shows it right there. She's willing to try to help anybody else at all. You can tell. She's not trying to help, just by saying it is helping people to understand that maybe what you're going through isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, that's impressive, I have to say. Oh man, Granny, you lost yours too? Wow. Man, guys, you guys are breaking my heart. Gosh. Yeah, homeschooling, PCM. Yeah, it's a blessing. You get to really know your kids. Yeah, Della, I'm the same way there. I'm sorry for anybody that's had to ever lose their child. And that's just crazy. Thank you for sharing that. Both of you guys that shared that. That's wow, Granny, 24 years old. Wow. I think did you mention that? I think you did mention that before. I just didn't get a chance to address it. Oh my gosh, guys. Yeah, Reese. Yeah. Yeah, guys, that's just, wow. I know, Rip. I'm going to. I really am. I'm going to. Let me say something here real quick too, guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you guys actually care enough to, number one, give a crap about me. Number two, I can clearly see just by watching this chat, just the short 2 weeks that I've been live streaming, you guys are there for each other too. It's amazing. It really is. I never thought that a YouTube channel like this could bring that kind of a thing. And it is. So that, if I'm proud of anything, that's really where I'd be proud. Just to be honest with you. The stuff that I bring you guys, yes, I want everybody to understand and all that. But you're right, Della. I really do. I really truly believe that. I'm starting to, I feel the same. I felt that way for a long time, even just doing the comment section. Okay? And communicating with just a few of you guys through emails and stuff. And this is why that I wanted to do, this whole live stream thing to begin with. Is so I could have that communication and have that kind of connection. Because I knew that it would help me. I knew that it would help everybody. Because I could just tell what kind of people were here. It wasn't people that were being stupid and dumb and just trying to cause problems. People were here just because they wanted to be. And they were here to try to help themselves and each other. And it was easy to see in a real quick way. I don't take credit for all that, but I do think that some of the things I initiated early on in my channel kind of helped that. And let me explain, because I watched other channels, go through what they went through. You know, and where they end up and how this happens and this, that, and the other. So I tried to, you know, I've always been able to learn from other people's mistakes and not do the same thing. That's something that, yeah, Tony, you're right. You know, Scott really has put, but let me finish what I was saying about that before I get sidetracked. I watched other channels, and I watched them pretty much fail because of the way that they, not because of the actual information or anything like that, but the way they handled things. They would get so discouraged themselves, or they would discourage their subscriber base, or any of that kind of stuff, right? So that's why the first rule I came up with was no drama. I won't entertain it. I'm not going to. Okay? That's why I apologized to you guys yesterday for what I said the stream before. Even though it was justified, what I said, and I meant every word that I said, but I took the time out to do that, and I had to bring that drama out here for everybody to see. And that's something that I'm fighting against, because at the end of the day, people don't want to come see that kind of stuff. They don't want to see any of that. But, you know, there are certain occasions, like what happened a couple days ago, you know, with all that went down with Teresa, you know. And she wasn't even in here when that all went down. Ain't that crazy? But that's how much we care about each other here in this chat. You know, we would walk by each other on the street. We wouldn't even know each other, right? You see what I'm saying? But yet we still care enough to do this. It's amazing to me. Exile, good to see you, man. Good to see you in there, bud. Hope you got my email the other day, or last night, I think. Yeah, Sherry, that's unfortunately that is something that is so rampant nowadays. You know, and I'm honest about it. I thought the same thing. All of that you just said there, every bit of it. So, you know, I understand. That's all I can say, I guess. You know, everybody deals with that stuff different. You know, Tam, that is such a... Guys, I'm just going to throw this out there because I was going to try to hold on to this for a minute because I was going to try to roll it out all at once. I'm probably going to start a second channel. I'm already working on it. And it won't have nothing to do with space weather. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be about my... I want to help people that are going through what I went through with the addiction problem, right? And I think I have a lot to offer because I've learned a lot through all this whole thing. And my biggest thing there is that even though you don't think you'll ever get there or get to that point or could even entertain being addicted like that, you're wrong. Everybody who says that they'll never ever, they're wrong. Because I said the same thing. And so I'm thinking about starting to, you know, actually I've already started doing it. I just didn't start the channel up yet. A channel like that, and my goal with that would be to share my story and then bring other people on to talk about their story, and to, you know, try to help people in that instance from a first person point of view, not from a book or anything like that, but from real life experience. And you know, I've seen so many things through this whole journey that I've been on. And like I said, guys, I never got addicted to anything until I was 35. Other than caffeine or something like that. I don't smoke. I didn't even smoke weed in high school. None of that stuff, right? And I think I could help people. I really do. That would be the goal of that, you know. I would want it to be kind of like I don't know, you know, maybe on the end of it, maybe a call-in show kind of thing. And get people to share their testimonies and get people to share that kind of a thing with the goal of helping somebody that might be going through stuff like what we're talking about, so we don't get to that depression factor. And that, because that's where it all leads, every bit of it. You know, it starts with, you know, those things making you happy, but it doesn't keep you happy very long, because what happens is you can't get happy unless you have those drugs after that. So, yeah, Rebecca, Adderall, that's a whole ball of wax right there. In case people don't know, Adderall is what they give, you know, kids for. A lot of people know what that is, but it's essentially meth in a pill. Methamphetamine, crystal meth in a pill form, pretty much. But that's what that is. It's speed, pretty. I mean, just, you know, guys. Let me say this too. Some of these things we're talking about, they actually have a place. They can be very useful when used right, with the right person and the right doctor. But for those of us that did do stuff like this and then we don't know we're even addicted, I'm telling you guys, I woke up one day and just realized I was addicted. And the only way I realized it was I ran out of my script early and thought, well, I can go a couple days in pain. Well, guess what? It wasn't the pain that got me. It was the intense withdrawal that just smacked me across the face about a day into it. So, that's one of those things, you know. And right now, guys, like I told you before, I'm on Suboxone right now. I have been for, gosh, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. I think it's like 7 years. And you just, and like, yeah, you're right, Sherry. You just don't even know it's got you till it's too late. And, you know, this is what I would say too. You know, I know I'm kind of going off on a side thing here, which is why I gave all the information at the beginning. So if people want to just not, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I was told, and this was a mistake. You know, if a doctor tells you this, please question them when they say this, because they will say it to you. They're going to say, hey, you're not addicted, you're just dependent. Okay, yes, there is a definitional, you know, a definition difference there. An addict is something that they're going to do anything and everything to get that drug, right? Because of the way that they feel and the way that it makes them feel happy. But they have to have it to not go through withdrawal. Now, a doctor is going to tell you that if you're dependent, it's like a blood pressure medicine. That's what they're going to tell you. Here's 500 oxys. It's like blood pressure medicine. Just take it like I prescribed it. You're just dependent. You're not addicted. Well, yeah, you're dependent while you're taking it like you're supposed to. But but then just put it down for a minute and you're going to figure out how you're not just dependent. You are addicted. There's no difference really. It can be very much the same, and it is. So if you hear that from any doctor, please question it. And tell him, hey, listen, I don't want to be dependent on anything unless it's going to keep me alive. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Sherry, you know, I researched the kratom, and I actually have some. I ain't gonna say who, but it's one of our community members actually sent me some. I live in Indiana, so it's illegal, and I'll just put it out there. Okay, kratom's illegal here. You're not even allowed to buy it. So, you know, I hope and I pray that for people that are taking that they don't put, you know, they're thinking about making it a Scheduled 1. And as soon as that happens, it will become big pharmaceutical stuff immediately. All the stuff that's happening would stop immediately. You wouldn't be able to get it without trying to go to the doctor to get it. It'd have to be prescribed, or you couldn't get it. Oh, do you? Okay, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm preaching to the choir there, Sherry. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure you can. And that's. Let me tell you guys, she's talking about something there that can actually help a lot of people. It's not an opiate, but it hits on the opiate receptors, which kind of fools your body. So that's a very basic way to put it. But yeah, there's a whole lot more to it, and I'm sure Sherry could go into that. I know quite a bit about it because I researched it very, very heavily because I was trying to figure out how to get off the Suboxone. And not have to, yeah, Kelly, Ryan, that was my goal, Yeah, that's a good thing, Tam, good job. Kratom it's used for pain, guys, is what it's usually used for, and anxiety. Like I just said, it hits on the same receptors in your brain as opiates do, but it's not an opiate. It is an Indonesian root, Tony. That's what kratom is. Some people take it. They can drink it. I will say this: it's an extremely nasty taste. But some people they'll if it's the right stuff, you can put it in veggie tabs. Yeah, guys, listen. This is exactly what I would say. Go to Sherry McFadden, her Facebook page. Okay, I've not been there, but I can tell you right now. Oh, is it the leaf? I thought it was a root. Okay, see, I'm already. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not talking about it. Cause I don't want, I'm not exactly 100% on all of that. So, yeah, it's a root too. Okay, I thought it was. I thought it was both. Am I wrong? I don't know. Let me say this too, guys. Jason just said something that is one of the most important things people have to understand. Please, for the love of God, do not take Xanax, Ativan, or Valium for an extended period of time and get addicted to that stuff. Okay? Why do I say that? It's a benzodiazepine. It's basically alcohol in a pill form. Okay? Yes, Jason. Tam saying it right there. Benzos are the worst. And let me tell you a little story. And this is something that I don't even like talking about, but I'm going to share it because there's a lot of people in here that are understanding what I'm saying and might be able to benefit from this. I went to in-house rehab for 5 days before I went to outpatient and got my Suboxone. There's a whole story of me getting up there anyway, which was ridiculous in itself. But anyway, we would have group every day, right? Multiple groups we had every day up there. It was very structured. It was spiritually minded. It was basically in-house AA for drug addicts. Okay, for NA is what they. For a lot of you guys probably know what that is. NA, it's Narcotics Anonymous instead of AA, which is Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's essentially the same program. Okay, 12-step program, all that kind of thing, right? So we did all these groups and stuff, but they kept the men and the women separate, except for one time during the day, and that's when they would bring you into one big room, and you would have a big community group. That group was, it was beneficial, okay, don't get me wrong. But there was a lady that was on benzos. And she was probably my age right now, 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. So, she was probably 40. That's what I'm gonna guess, maybe a little bit more. But she looked like she was 65 or 70 years old. Okay, and it was because of the drugs, obviously. But she was in a wheelchair. But it wasn't because she couldn't walk. She was not allowed to get out of that wheelchair because of the benzos that she was addicted to. When you withdraw off of those, if you're detoxing, one of the biggest risks is seizure. Okay? And they give you phenobarbital for that. But there's other stuff they can do too. But for the most part, you're still going to have the seizures if you're going through those kinds of withdrawals. And I could tell that this woman had been on that stuff for a very long time. So about the third day I was there, she was there. And she actually had a seizure right in the middle of that big group where everybody was there. And she died on the floor in front of all of us. And it wasn't nothing that the nurses did that they did wrong or anything like that. There was nothing they could have done for her. She was in rehab trying to come off of benzos and died because of withdrawal. The withdrawal killed her. They put her into, she had a seizure, massive seizure, and she died. And, those of us that are sitting there and you're just looking around like, oh my gosh, I mean, what in the world, It was one of the worst things that we'd all seen. But in a strange way, it's kind of like what we all needed to see. And I know she lost her life, but it really helped put in perspective what these benzos and even the opiates and stuff, Yeah, you're probably not going to die from an opiate withdrawal. It's going to get very, very uncomfortable. But it's not life-threatening for the most part. But benzos are, guys. Okay? So we're talking Xanax, Ativan, anything in that family. Anything that's in the benzodiazepine family. Please, unless you really have serious anxiety issues and stuff like that, that's being very, very closely monitored by a doctor, please stay away from that stuff. Please. I mean, out of everything I've ever seen, that is the worst. And I've watched a lot of, Vice videos and stuff. And, I guess the scariest thing is sometimes there's just nothing they can do. Even though they're being monitored so close and given all the medications that we have to try to help that, it's crazy. Tony, yeah. Valium is part of that family, guys. It's a benzo. Oh, is he? Okay, hold on a minute. Guys, you guys want to go over there with me? I'll call in. Hold on a minute. Let me get his link here real quick. I'll give you guys a link. And let's all go over there and I'll call in. I think he's wanting me to talk about this anyway, maybe. Let me, give me 1 second. Everybody, please stick around. Please follow me over there, too. Please. I've never really, I've asked you guys to do this, but we've done it before, actually. But I really think you guys will be happy if you did. Hold on a minute here. Let me
Me? No.
All right, give me a second here. I paused it. I'm going to share this link, guys. Hold on a minute. Yeah, sure. Yeah, go over and join her Facebook, okay? I think that's his channel there, guys. I'm I'm going to cop. Is that his? That's it. Okay, yeah. That's the video right there. It's not a video. He's live streaming right now. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and log off of here. Okay. Guys, if you guys are having issues and stuff, please come over and watch us over here. But by all means, please go over to Sherry's Facebook page. If you guys are having issues like that, keep a conversation going, especially if you need help. All right. I'm here to talk to you too. If you need my help, I can kind of guide people the right direction. At the very least, I can get you over to Sherry. Yeah, God bless everybody. But please come over to Mark's. I'm getting ready to come over, okay? So, yeah, give me a second, guys. God bless. Yahuwah saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.